problem with this move?
I think it's a typical Colt move. I mean, here's a team that needed a franchise quarterback. There were two out there. They have a chance at two. They don't take them. They end up coming back into the picture to get Trent Dilfer. They take an outside linebacker, not even a true outside linebacker. Somebody has to learn coverage in Trev Alberts. They have Coriat, they have Harad. They do have a hole that developed with the release of Dwayne Bickett. But to pass up a Trent Dilfer when all you have is Jim Harbaugh, give me a break. That's why the Colts are picking second every year in the draft, not battling for the Super Bowl like other clubs in the National Football League.
Who in the hell is Mel Kiper? My neighbor has more credentials than Mel Kiper, and my neighbor's supposed.
What do you want to cover first, our players?
Well, good morning, everybody. Rise and grind. Yes, rise and grind on this Friday. A little rainy Friday, but it's not supposed to be a steady rain. It'll rain a little bit overnight. We got thunderstorms in the area. But rise and grind, everybody. Friday. It's the last day of the work week for most of you. To me, not so much. I got to work today. I had off yesterday, so I work today, I work tomorrow, then we're off again on Sunday. So, still keeping my carrier schedule for now. So, rise and grind, people. Man, we're sitting here, what's today, the 4th, 20 days away. Yes, less than 3 weeks away from right now, I'll be on my way to work after round 1, and we can talk about whatever happens. Michael Williams at 12, Ted McMillan at 12, Will Johnson at 12. What says you? They're all on the table. If Tet's gone, Ashton Gentry at 12. I think those are the names you're looking at. McMillan, Michael Williams, Will Johnson, Ashton Gentry. I don't think they'd go Marion Hampton, but, you know, again, I've seen stranger things happen. Jerry Jones was meeting with Quinyon Judkins, so they're looking for a running back. Make no mistake about it. Rico, I think, misplayed the market. Rico Dowdle. I think he misplayed the market, and, see ya. I mean, I want to go young anyway. So, again, as I told everybody, all the trolls out there like to laugh it up, and, you need to put a team together, okay? You need to put a team together. Miles Sanders was signed to fight for a roster spot. If he's the Miles Sanders from Carolina, he ain't making it. Everybody's poo-pooing Deuce Vaughn. Deuce Vaughn isn't your main guy, but he had the highest average by the end of the year last year. Deuce Vaughn, he actually got in the last 3 games of the season and actually looked pretty darn good. He's a nightmare in space. You watch. Dallas is going to let Deuce Vaughn go. He's going to go and be successful somewhere, like a Darren Sproles. So, again, we shall see. But yeah, Jerry Jones met with Judkins. They're meeting with a lot of people. He met with Siobhan Ravel, East Carolina's cornerback. Again, Dallas is hunting corners. To me, if Ravel drops in the second, but what I wanted, then he would be a possibility. He ain't dropping that far. He's going to Minnesota. But my thing to you, my allergies are bad again. I just blew my nose 3 times, so sorry about that. Let me do one big clear. Yeah, everything's green outside, meaning pollen. It's bad. But I just want people to recognize that every time they meet with somebody, doesn't mean Dallas is signing that person. You know what I'm saying? Just because you meet with them, don't mean they're drafting them. Dallas does a lot of due diligence in meeting with players that they like. They know they can't draft everybody. But in the case of a Jonathan Mingo, they could revisit. They know that they have they met with Ewers, they met with Jackson Dart. These are all guys that could go on somewhere, maybe not be successful. Dallas can get a chance to come in a year or 2 from now, and pick that player up. Again, they have a lot of confidence in their coaching staff. Yeah, it's no surprise. Now, we Dallas Cowboys fans are unhappy with the drafting as of late, but we still have more all-pros than anybody over the last however many years. I know the Ultra brought up a graph. We draft all-pros. Our thing is we have too many misses in between the all-pros. You can have a CeeDee Lamb, you can have a Tyler Smith, but then you add in a Mozzie Smith, and you add in some other players. Obviously, going back to Taco Charlton, not so much. So, just keep that in mind, everybody. I believe Dallas likes to interview and get, actually physically talk to the player, even though they know there's a very little chance of them drafting them, because you may see that player again. I keep going back to it. Let me just look at yesterday. Joe Milton. They liked him last year. They didn't know that he would get drafted necessarily. Maybe they would take him in the 7th. Didn't happen. He was taken in the 6th round. And listen, Joe Milton has a ton of talent. And people are like, wow, he's inaccurate. Well, okay, that's why he went in the 6th round. Okay, I mean, Milroe's inaccurate too, but he's going to get drafted. But Milton's only game was the last game of the year. He did not start that game. Josh Allen started, or not Josh Allen, Drake May started against Buffalo. Then he played one series, and then they pulled him out, and Joe Milton got the rest. They were blitzing Joe Milton eventually because he was completing passes. Joe Milton was cutting them up and down the field against backups. But then they started blitzing his ass because we got to slow this guy down. He's the type of guy that's got such a good arm that he makes ill-advised throws, like across the body, back over to the middle of the field. If you're rolling out to the sideline, that's a no-no in this league, and he completed it. And that's gonna bite you in the butt eventually. But what I'm saying is, the dude's got talent. The trolls can complain. Everything we do sucks. I find it funny. We had one horrible season last year, and it just coincided with a shit ton of injuries. Again, we have a hard schedule, as all the NFC East does. So I'm hearing a lot of Eagle fans saying sweep the division. There ain't no way in hell you're sweeping the division. That's another bet I would love to cash in on. There ain't no way you're sweeping the division. No, I mean, there is a way, but it's not likely. Come on now. I mean, even if you don't respect what Dallas is doing, they keep hearing how good Giants are, right? Giants stink. Sorry, Jesse. Giants are going to be better just because they're going to be better, but what does it mean for wins and losses? I couldn't tell you. I think Washington's going to be good. Washington's not going anywhere. So, we'll see, man. It's going to be fun, but we got 5 months away from football. So, we're talking NFL draft. I was watching a little bit of Mel Kiper 4.0. I didn't get too far into it. The draft. So, very interesting. Dallas, but I just wanted to reiterate to all the Cowboy fans out there watching this video that just because they're meeting with guys doesn't mean they're drafting them. They're getting a profile on the player over and above. Everybody can see the tape, right? Everybody can see the tape. But now you're sitting down with the player, getting into his head. That's why they like Joe Milton a lot. But Dallas relies a lot on the draft. And when you're paying a $60 million quarterback, you can't just have the luxury to draft quarterbacks in the 2nd and 3rd round. You just can't. You gotta wait till the 5th or 6th round and hopefully get lucky. That's what you do. It doesn't make any good sense, But that, again, so I just want everybody to understand, they're interviewing all these guys. They're gonna get a book, and if they fail wherever they're at, they can revisit the player. Dallas does it all the time. Kyer Elam. out of Buffalo. Dallas traded for him. People say he's a bust. Okay, I mean, I get what you're saying, but to me, it's the non-informed football fan that say these guys are all busts. The Walker Wades, who I love Wade, but you know, he just wants to say bust, but he wants that splash name. Again, we're not that close for a splash name. Okay, we're not close to just getting a Saquon Barkley to put us over the top. We got to rely on the draft, not just to add to, but to replace talent. That's what Dallas does. Dallas drafts to replace, not to make stronger, right? Put in the comments, Vinny Hagen, what exactly is that term? But they basically draft to replace. You know? I mean, we have a bunch of defensive ends, but replacing DeMarcus Lawrence is not going to be easy. I mean, I think we could do it because, you know, DeMarcus was always tired, so I think it won't be that hard. But I believe that Mykel Williams, even though I'm not a big fan of him at 12, outside of Abdul Carter, is the next best all-around defensive end. Mykel Williams at 12, it wouldn't excite me, but get ready for it. If the draft goes a certain way where, you know, Gentry's gone and I don't know who they would take McMillan over Mykel. I don't know. What I was encouraged at was that Stephen Jones acknowledged that they need a number 2 receiver, basically, the other day. They like who they have, but they're not saying they're going to slide into number 2. You need people fighting for their jobs. We're not giving number 2 wide receiver position job. You know, you're not giving them, you know, in April saying that's our number 2. No, you got to fight for your job. Ryan Flournoy, you know, I mean, you need to fight. Jalen Brooks, you need to fight for your roster spot. Tolbert, you need to fight for your roster spot. I mean, I know Tolbert's there. He was our second best wide receiver, so he's on the team. But I feel real weird, you know, trusting anybody to say, you're my number 2. Go out and get you a high stud. Then you tell that stud, you haven't won nothing. Ted McMillan, earn your spot. Watch tape. No pun intended. So, this is what we're talking about. Stay tuned, everybody. I was going to do a live stream last night, but I was outside putting something together, and we got stuck. We were a little later than expected. So, stay tuned on that. Maybe we'll do something tonight. What's today, Friday? Mark does his Friday stream. So, maybe I'll record something, or maybe we'll do something before his. But I might try and do a lunchtime chat. I might try and slip out of here and for a half hour and just, you know, shoot the breeze with you guys. How about that? Maybe I'll do a lunchtime chat around 12:30 today. Stay tuned on that, all right? Maybe 1 o'clock. 1 to 1:30. Like a glove. All right, everybody. Game time, Brian. Have a good Friday. I'll try and talk to you on my lunchtime break. And I'm going to try and do a video regardless. And then I'll try and do something tonight. All right, everybody. I'll talk to you later. Peace.